మీరు ఇంట్లో చూస్తారు
ఏంటి
వాళ్ళు అన్నం మ్యూట్ చేసుకుని వాళ్ళ వీడియో చూసుకుంటున్నారు.
ఇప్పుడు ఎవరు రావట్లేదు
కదా ఒకసారి వీడియో ఆన్ చేయండి, మ్యూట్ అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి అని చెప్తున్నారు.
రామచంద్రరాజు వీడియో ఆన్ చేయండి మీరు అందరూ. సాయి కృష్ణ, మేఘన, రాజారోహిణి మీరందరూ వీడియో ఆన్ చేయండి. నా వాయిస్ వినపడుతుందా? వీడియో ఆన్ చేయండి. ఓకే, వీడియో ఆన్ చేయండి అందరూ.
పర్లేదు, టీ షర్ట్ లో ఉన్నా పర్లేదు, ఆన్ చేయండి.
మీరు ఎలా ఉన్నా పర్లేదు, ఇంట్లో ఉన్నట్టున్నా పర్లేదు, వీడియో ఆన్ చేయండి, నో ప్రాబ్లం. బాగున్నారా? హౌ ఆర్ యూ? వాయిస్ వినపడుతుందా? అది
మీరు అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి, మీరు అప్పుడు వినపడుతుంది మాకు.
మీరు అన్మ్యూట్ కూడా చేయండి, వీడియో ఆన్ చేసి అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి.
గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ సార్.
అన్మ్యూట్ చేశారా?
చేసాం సార్.
ఏంటి మేఘన నన్ను ఎందుకు రాలేదు?
మా తాతగారు చనిపోయారు సార్, ఫార్మాలిటీస్ లో ఉన్నా.
ఓకే, మిగతా ఇంకోటి రామచంద్రరాజు వీడియో, రామచంద్రరాజు వీడియో ఆన్ చేయి. సాయి కృష్ణ, రాజారోహిణి వీడియో ఆన్ చేయండి, అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి. Yesterday I completed the virginity, pregnancy and delivery topic up to signs of pregnancy. So what are the signs of pregnancy? Signs of pregnancy are presumptive signs, probable signs and positive signs. వినిపిస్తుందా? Are you audible? రామచంద్రరాజు ఆన్ చేయాలి వీడియో, సాయి కృష్ణ ఆన్ చేయాలి, రాజారోహిణి ఆన్ చేయాలి, మీరు అన్మ్యూట్ చేయాలి. అందరూ బాగున్నారా? చెప్పండి ఒకసారి బాగున్నామని.
yes sir.
అలా ఓకే?
yes sir.
పేరెంట్స్ అందరూ బాగున్నారా?
బాగున్నాం.
వెరీ గుడ్. ఎస్టర్డే నువ్వు రాలేదు, విన్నావా? విన్నావా టాపిక్? మణిబాల విన్నావా? అప్ టు వేర్ ఐ కంప్లీటెడ్ the topic. I completed the probable signs of pregnancy. What are the probable signs of pregnancy? Number one is enlargement of the abdomen. How do you observe the enlargement of the abdomen? You should observe the fundal height of the uterus, and then you can determine the enlargement of the abdomen. So fundal height, as the progress of pregnancy, the abdomen, the uterus size increases and correspondingly the abdomen size also increases. So at the 12 weeks of pregnancy, the fetus is, the uterus is in the pelvic cavity, and at 16 weeks it comes to the uterus comes to the brim of the pelvis. Sai Krishna, how are you? మీరు ఎలా ఉన్నా సరే వీడియో ఆన్ చేయండి, నో ప్రాబ్లం. ఇంట్లో మనం ఎలా ఉంటాం మనం అందరూ, మీరు అందరూ నా పిల్లలు అంటారు. వీడియో ఆన్ చేయండి, అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి, టాపిక్ అర్థమైందో లేదు చెప్పండి, మాట్లాడండి. మీరు ఎలా ఉన్నా పర్లేదు, బట్టలో అవి మీరు నైట్ డ్రెస్ తో ఉన్నా పర్వాలేదు, నో ప్రాబ్లం. బ్రష్ చేసినా పర్వాలేదు, చేయకపోయినా పర్లేదు, ఓకేనా? So probable signs of pregnancy, number one probable sign is I told already yesterday, but to summarize this, enlargement of the abdomen by calculating, measuring the fundal height of the uterus. By 12 weeks it is pelvic cavity, 16 weeks at the brim, and 20 weeks at the level of the umbilicus, and above 24 weeks it is in between the umbilicus and xiphoid process, and at 28 weeks at the cartilage of the xiphoid cartilage, at the uterus, and 32 weeks it is at the xiphoid process. Later on, the latter months of pregnancy, it comes down to the pelvis, and it is in the whole uterus is in the pelvic cavity to fill the flanks of the abdomen. So it is the number one sign of probable signs of pregnancy. Number two is Hager's sign. Hager's sign is very, very important. This is observed by every obstetrician. Whenever a pregnant woman comes to her clinic, she will elicit this sign, Hager's sign. What is Hager's sign? If you place one of your hand on the abdomen, left hand on the abdomen, and two fingers of the other hand will be introduced into the vaginal cavity, then you will feel. This is very important sign elicited by every obstetrician, OBG specialist. So every student must know this Hager's sign. Place your left hand on the abdomen and pass two fingers into the vaginal wall. Then you feel the hard, firm cervix and elastic uterus. In between these two, there is a compressible isthmus is felt. This is the Hager's sign. Very, very important sign in the early months of pregnancy. Next is cervix. Cervical examination. Cervical examination lo Goodell's sign is very, very important. Goodell's sign means it is seen in the second month or third month, in between the second or third month of the pregnancy, and it is markedly visible in the fourth month. This is elicited by observing the cervix. It looks like, or you felt with your fingers as a transverse opening. This is Goodell's sign. Normally, the cervical opening and the external orifice, cervical external orifice will be in a transverse slit, but during pregnancy it will a circular shape. This is the Goodell's sign. Number fourth is intermittent uterine contractions. These are known as Braxton Hicks contractions. These are contractions of the uterus, intermittently comes and lasts for 2-3 minutes. These can be observed by the pregnant woman and also audible or felt by your palmar surface of your hand. Next is ballotment. Ballotment is number fifth probable sign is ballotment. Ballotment is when you push the fetus with your fingers, then the fetus will be moves upwards like a toss up like a ball. This is the ballotment. If it is present, it is seen when the amniotic fluid is more. Magana, Rajarohini, Ramchandra, అందరూ వీడియో ఆన్ చేయండి. అందరూ వీడియో ఆన్ చేసి మాట్లాడండి. ఎలా టాపిక్ అర్థమవుతుందా? సాయి కృష్ణ అర్థమవుతుందా? So this is the ballotment, and next is uterine souffle. Uterine souffle is a soft blowing murmur heard by auscultation on the uterus. You can heard with your auscultation. This is synchronous with the mother's pulse. So next is biological tests. Biological tests are very, very important. These tests are two types. Number one is animal-based tests. That means these tests are based on the test animals. The reaction of the test animals. These are prevailed before 1960, but after that serological examination of confirming the pregnancy is prevailed. So what are you can know if you know the tests of rapid tests, that is enough. Those are rapid rat test, and just note the names of the tests. Rapid rat test and Askim Jondak test and Friedman test and Ogben female toad test, male frog test and Galli-Malinini test. These are the 6 tests of testing animals, biological tests. And then another important after 1960, immunological tests are very, very prevailed. Those immunological tests are to present or to elicit the presence of human chorionic gonadotropins in the blood or urine of the pregnant woman. The human HCG hormones are released into the fluids of the pregnant mother by the embryo, trophoblast of the embryo, and these can be seen in the urine or blood of the pregnant woman as early as 7th week of pregnancy or 8 days it can be present. So the secretions of the HCG are more during the 7th week of pregnancy and later on by decreasing at the 16 weeks of pregnancy. So you can, if you detect the HCG in the blood or urine of the pregnant woman, then you can confirm the whether the female is pregnant or not. Those are two types: inhibition latex test or indirect latex slide test and direct latex slide test. Two types of immunological tests. Number one is indirect latex slide test and direct latex slide test. Indirect test lo polystyrene particles can be coated with the this human chorionic gonadotropin and antiserum like blood grouping. Blood. This test is similar to blood grouping. Antiserum, anti-HCG antibody will be there, and you take the urine and mix with the antiserum of the 2 drops of sensitized latex particles are added to the mixed urine and polystyrene particles test and allowed for 2 minutes. If agglutination is present, there is negative test. If no agglutination, it is positive pregnancy test. Number 2 is direct latex slide test. It is also the presence of HCG in the urine or blood. You can easily do this test. It is also antibody, antiserum of HCG mixed with the urine or blood of the pregnant woman, and directly it is exactly opposite. If the agglutination present, it is positive. Indirect latex test, agglutination is absent, positive. Here agglutination is present, it is positive pregnancy test. Like that, you should confirm the diagnosis of the pregnancy of a woman. These are the probable signs of pregnancy. Hemoagglutination test and all those are the probable signs of pregnancy. Next is positive signs of pregnancy. What are the positive signs of pregnancy? Fetal parts and movements. Fetal parts and movements are felt by placing your hands on the abdomen of the pregnant woman. Those are felt by 24 weeks of pregnancy. And fetal heart sounds. Fetal heart sounds are felt between 18 to 20 weeks of pregnancy. Those are heard by auscultation. These heart sounds are like a picking sound. When you had the watch sounds kept in a pillow, under the pillow, the ticking sound will come. These are 160 per minute in early months. That means 18 to 20 months, 20 weeks of pregnancy. These are at 160 per minute. On later months, 9th month, the rate of heartbeat is reduced to 120. Those fetal heart sounds are absent in fetal death, intrauterine death of the fetus. Fetal heart sounds are absent, not heard. You cannot hear fetal heart sounds in fetal death. When there is excessive quantity of amniotic fluid, also you cannot clearly hear the fetal heart sounds. And then the abdominal wall is very fat. If the abdominal wall is very fat, you cannot elicit the fetal heart sounds by auscultation. And then examination made before the 18 to 20 weeks of gestation. If the pregnant woman is below 18 weeks, you cannot hear. Why? Because fetal heart sounds are heard between 18 to 20 weeks of pregnancy. So this is the fetal heart sound. This is the very positive sign of pregnancy. And placental shuffle. This is soft murmur heard over the placental site by auscultation, and this is heard very soft blowing murmur. And next is phonic or umbilical shuffle. This is also blowing murmur heard on the umbilical cord. And then X-ray diagnosis. How to diagnose the whether the female is pregnant or not by X-rays. Radiological examination. You can observe the skull and vertebral column and ribs. You can observe the by radiological examination. The shadows of the skull bones looks like a semicircular or annular shadows. skull bones. The skull looks like annular shadows. And next, the vertebral column is a serial dots. The vertebral column in radiological examination looks like a serial dots, and there is a curved parallel lines of ribs. Ribs can be seen by X-rays as curved parallel lines, and limbs also looks like a serial linear radiological appearance. By looking these 4 points, you can diagnose uh, the female is pregnant. And also you can detect any fetal abnormalities during by taking the radiological examination. Radiological signs of fetal death can be identified by doing X-rays. How? You can, I will tell you in infant deaths, but I will tell 3 headings: Spalding sign and presence of gas in the great vessels. That means Roberts sign, Spalding sign, like that, collapse of the spinal column. These are the fetal death. These signs indicates the fetal death in radiological examination. Ultrasonography is very, very important positive sign of pregnancy. Ultrasonography. If you do the US abdomen of a gravid uterus, you can find out the fetal parts, embryo, and all those will be found in the ultrasonography. So, what are the gestational sac? What are the points should be noted by ultrasonologist? Is gestational sac is seen as a white ring in 4th to 6th week of the pregnancy. At the 6th week, gestational sac looks like a white ring by when you are doing the ultrasonography. And then at the 7th week of gestation, the distinct echoes can be heard by the embryo, can be heard by ultrasonologist, but you and I cannot heard, because you are not radiologist. You cannot heard the echoes from the embryo. And 10th week, the fetal heart can be made out at the 10th week. Fetal head and thorax can be made by ultrasonograph at the 14th week of pregnancy. All those can be seen, and also fetal abnormalities, placental abnormalities, and any ectopic gestation or vesicular mole can be detected by ultrasonography. These are all the positive sign of pregnancy. If these signs present, you can definitely confirm that the female is pregnant. What is the next? Next is short question. Pseudocysis or phantom pregnancy. That means pseudo pregnancy. Pseudocysis. This is seen in very younger girls who are very fond of pregnancy. They are not really conceived, but they feel like their abdomen is increasing size, or they are conceived. This is known as pseudocysis. This is due to some hormonal disorder or psychic patients. They believe that they conceive, but the fact is they really not conceive, but the abdomen is growing size due to deposition of the fat or deposition of the tamponites. That means gas. Abdomen is filling with gas or air. The size of the abdomen is increases, and she felt like that she is conceived and the pregnancy is progressing, but it is not true. This is pseudocysis. Even the full term also, the person, the female also carrying the pseudocysis up to full term, and she will get the frank labor pains, try to deliver baby, but it is false. Whenever some person tell that it is not pregnancy, then the labor pains will automatically stop. This is known as pseudocysis or spurious or phantom pregnancy. It is short notes or 2 marks question. Signs of pregnancy in the dead. It is very important. Signs of pregnancy in the dead. The presence of embryo, fetus, fetal parts, all the positive signs subject to signs seen in the living person, and the products of conception. The presence of products of conception also indicates that the person is pregnant. These are what are the signs present in the living signs of pregnancy present in the living person, also seen in the dead person. Apart from that, the uterus is thickened and increased in size, and even in the dead body who is buried and digging out of the body, that is exhumation, exhumed body can also determine whether the woman is pregnant or not. So the bones and the uterus will retain for prolonged periods, even burial body also. So you can determine the pregnancy, signs of pregnancy in that body also. Now next is period of gestation. What is the period of gestation? The period of gestation is learned in 3 headings. Number 1 is average period, maximum period, and minimum period. Average period is 10 lunar months. What is lunar month? 28 days is the lunar month. 280 days or 10 lunar months is the average gestational period. The maximum period by 2 scientists, the McKeown and Gibson, or 328 days or 354 days. Even 354 days also they observed that. Whenever the long prolonged gestation period, the baby will be large or so many complications, post-maturity complications will be seen if the gestational period is more prolonged. And then minimum period and viability. What is viability? I will tell in the infant deaths chapter. Viability is the leading of a fetus after birth of the after detached from the mother's womb. The independent leading of fetus, it leads independent life after expelled from the mother's womb. It is viability of the fetus. Minimum the viability period is 210 days. Even lesser period also the fetus can be viable. That means 180 days or 160 days also the fetus can be viable, but you should treat the baby. The 180 days baby, I seen 180 days baby. It is like a మాంసముద్దలాగా ఉంటుంది. 180 days baby, 6 months baby. Then you have to put the baby on ventilator, and you have to give the surfactant. All those efforts will be take. Then only the infant will survive individually apart from the mother. This is the known as viability. The minimum viability is 210 days. That means 7 lunar months. Then what is known as posthumous child? That is 2 marks question or short notes, 4 marks. Posthumous child is child born after the death of the father. Child born after its death of the father, the mother being conceived by the said father. The said father, the husband of the female person, died after conceived her, shortly after conceived her, and she carries pregnancy and delivered child. This is known as posthumous child. The legal issues involved are legitimacy. Somebody, the parents or atta mamalu elandro, it is not our for sons. The baby born is not conceived by our son because he died, like that. The legitimacy is the question, legal issue. And inheritance of property. మా అబ్బాయి చచ్చిపోయాడు, అంతకుముందే నువ్వు ప్రెగ్నెన్సీ వచ్చింది, మా అబ్బాయికి రాలేదు, ఇలా ఇటువంటి ఇన్హెరిటెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాపర్టీ మేము కాబట్టి వారసత్వం కాదు అని ఇటువంటి లీగల్ ఇష్యూస్ కెన్ బి రైజ్డ్ ఇన్ posthumous child. Compensation case for slander. That means woman who delivered the posthumous child can be filed a case against her father-in-law or mother-in-law for apavad. Slander means apavad. Apavad చేశారు కాబట్టి she may file case against her father-in-law and mother-in-law and whatever the relatives. So this is the legal issues. One is legitimacy, inheritance of property, and compensation for slander against the mother. Another short notes is superfecundation. Superfecundation. Rajarohini, Anjay. Otherwise, I will put absent. హాజరు రామచంద్రరాజు వీడియో ఆన్ చేయండి, అదర్వైజ్ ఐ విల్ గివ్ ఆబ్సెంట్. అర్థమవుతుందా టాపిక్? అర్థమవుతుందా సాయి కృష్ణ? క్లినికల్ సబ్జెక్టే కదా, అర్థమవుతుందా? ఏమా మేఘనా
Yes, sir.
అర్థమవుతుందా?
Yes, sir.
చెప్పాలి. Okay. Next one is superfecundation. Superfecundation means the fertilization of two ova released in the same menstrual period, but fertilized by different acts of coitus. This is superfecundation. Catch the point? Fertilization of two ova released in the same menstrual period and fertilized by two separate acts of coitus. This is superfecundation. Superfecundation is two types. Number one is monopaternal superfecundation and multipaternal superfecundation. Note cheskondi point. So monopaternal superfecundation means it is fertilization of the ova with same partner. Fertilization of ova by husband or partner, one partner only. It is monopaternal superfecundation. And twins is just twins. Twin pregnancies just difference from superfecundation. Twin pregnancies are pregnancy of ova, one or more ova, fertilization of one or more ova with single act of coitus. Fertilization of one or more ova, twins, more ova, more than one ova, fertilization of more than one ova by single act of coitus is twin pregnancy. But this superfecundation and twin pregnancies are scientifically cannot be differentiated. So twin pregnancies are 70% twin pregnancies are binocular, and these are 1.5% of total pregnancies. So monopaternal superfecundation is number of coitus with the same different acts of coitus with same partner, husband. And twin pregnancies, I told you, with the single act of coitus with fertilization of more than one ova by single act of coitus. This cannot be scientific. There is no scientific way to differentiate the twin pregnancies from superfecundation. And then next is multipaternal superfecundation or heteropaternal superfecundation. It is done by fertilization of more than one ova by different persons. Fertilization of ova performed, the coitus is performed by different persons. That means you can differentiate the fetuses like one is negro and one is white. The fetus delivered by one is from negro parent and another is white parent. This is also possible, the fertilization of ova by two different persons is also possible. This is called multipaternal superfecundation. If there are two parents, it is known as dipaternal superfecundation. Two parents, two fathers, it is dipaternal superfecundation. Depending on the number of partners, this can be tripaternal, quadripaternal and multipaternal. This is not common in humans because of the social taboos, but it is most commonly seen in animals. So the frequency of heteropaternal superfecundation is 2.4%, and the age of the fetus is the development is parallel, but it is unequal due to blood supply is not equally distributed to the fetuses. So the poor blood supply which the fetus gains will growth is less, and the blood supply which the fetus receiving is more developed in condition. So this age of the fetus is different. Development is parallel, but growth is unequal. This is the age of the fetus, and the fate of the fetuses, multi-fetuses fertilization law, the fate is either fetus papyraceous or fetus compressus or vanishing twin syndrome. The fate of the fetus ends by two ways. Fetus papyraceous, that means fetus papyraceous means compression of the fetus by one growing fetus, and this fetus may die and it may be partially mummified, and it is sustaining in the uterine cavity until the delivery of the developing fetus. It is compressed by the developing fetus and flattened, and it is called as fetus compressus or fetus papyraceous. It is short notes. And vanishing twin syndrome, that means one fetus may be vanished the another fetus. That means this fetus may dies by the dominating character of the growing fetus. This is known as vanishing twin syndrome. The incidence of multiple pregnancies are studied by Hellin and Jeleny. According to his theory, the twin pregnancies are 1 in 89, and triplets are twins are 1 in 89, and triplets are 1 in 89 square, and quadruplets are 1 in 89 cubes. This is called Hellin-Jeleny's law rule. And next is superfetation. Superfetation is, this means the fertilization of the ova, fertilization of the second ova in a woman who is already pregnant. This is superfetation. Superfecundation is different from superfetation. Superfetation is fertilization of the second ova in woman who is already pregnant. Later, two fetuses develops, or one fetus may die due to the less blood supply, or one fetus, the fate of the one fetus may end as fetus papyraceous or vanishing twin syndrome, or both the fetuses develops and the developmental age may be different. That means single parturition. These both fetuses may be delivered in a single parturition, or the first fetus may deliver first and later 1 or 2 months the second fetus may deliver. These possibilities are seen in superfetation. These are most commonly seen in bipartite uterus and bicornuate uterus and biseptate uterus and double uterus. Double uterus, bipartite and bicornuate and septate, biseptate uterus. These superfetation is more common. Then legitimacy and paternity. What is legitimacy? Legitimacy and paternity. Legitimacy is the legal state of person born in lawful marriage. Legal state of a person born in a lawful marriage. If a person is born during the continuance of legal marriage or within 280 days after dissolution of the marriage by divorce or death of the husband, his birth is presumed as legitimacy. That means legal state of a person who is born after continuance of the marriage up to 280 days of conceiving or dissolution up to divorce, he can be considered as legitimate side. Legitimacy is the legal state of a person born in lawful marriage. If a person is born during the continuance of a legal marriage or within 280 days after dissolution of the marriage by divorce or death of the husband, the birth is presumed as legitimate. Section 112 of Indian Evidence Act. The child becomes illegitimate or otherwise called as bastard if it can be proved that the husband could not be possibly father of the child. What are the conditions? If the father is under the age of puberty, the said father, the alleged father, may not be the parent of the child. under the age of puberty, or number 2, he is physically incapable to beget children due to some ill health or any congenital disorders, then the alleged father, the child, the legitimacy is, question of legitimacy is will arise. Number 3rd legal issue is the father, the husband may not have the access to his wife during his entire period of marriage. Then also in this context also the child, the question of legitimacy arises, and the blood groups of the child and the alleged father are not compatible. In this context also the legitimacy, the question of legitimacy will be arises. The question of legitimacy arises in, what are the legal issues? Inheritance of property. The main legal issue is inheritance of property. The legitimate child only inherit the property of his father. The illegitimate child cannot inherit the property of the father. What are the affiliation cases? What is a case? A woman may allege some person that he is the father of this child, and if the paternity is proved, the first class magistrate can be sanctioned alimony. That means Varanam. The first class magistrate can sanction the alimony to the said female from the said alleged father. It comes under section 125 CRPC. Section 125 CRPC. Luxury is not taken as considered. Varanamalo luxury only bread and necessities, food, clothing and lodging. Kudu, Gudda, Nivas. ఈ మూడిటినే కన్సిడర్ చేస్తారు, లగ్జరీని కన్సిడర్ చేయరు భరణం ఇచ్చటం. అకార్డింగ్ టు కోర్ట్ ఆఫ్ లా, ఓన్లీ దీస్ 3 food, shelter and clothing should be provided as alimony from the alleged father if he is proved as legitimate father, paternity is proved. Then supposed children, that means a woman, supposed children means fictitious children, that a woman may pretend pregnancy. That means she pretend pregnancy. It is feigned pregnancy. Actually, she is not pregnant. She feigned or pretend pregnancy and hold some. She has taken some child from anywhere and she put in the court. The child is being born by this person. He claims like that due to blackmail or due to claim money from him, or no, those are the conditions. Other legal issues involved are blackmailing the man. Blackmailing, that means he is cheated me, like that. He is cheated me, నన్ను పెళ్లి చేసుకుంటా అని చీట్ చేశాడు, సో అతని వల్ల ఈ పిల్లవాడు పుట్టాడు కాబట్టి ఏదైనా కాంపెన్సేషన్ కావాలి. లైక్ దట్, టు బ్లాక్మెయిల్ a person, a female can allege that some person may be the father of the child. And another is, in those situations you observe whether the alleged female person is really pregnant or delivered child. So to give the medical evidence, you should learn all these signs of pregnancy. Then only you can give the medical evidence whether she alleged female is either pregnant or not. During this supposed children, the woman is really not pregnant, but she pretend pregnant and produce a child from anywhere and to claim money or to blackmail a person. And paternity, the question of paternity arises in legitimacy, posthumous child and supposed children. Paternity, if any person is alleged that he is the father of this child, that he has to prove that he is not the father, or if he is proved as father, then he is the liable for give the compensation or other alimonies. And this paternity proved by parental likeness. Parental likeness means The children looks like their parents. It is one of the cause. And in features, personalities and gestures, the children looks like their parents, but in some cases the parents are look like their grandparents. This is called atavism. And developmental defects, those are some diseases can be inherited from their grandparents or from their parents to the children. By these blood groups can be prove the paternity. So DNA fingerprinting and blood grouping also prove the paternity. Then delivery. Delivery means the expulsion or extraction of the child at birth. Expulsion or extraction of the child at birth. The question of delivery arises in abortion, infanticide, concealment of birth, abortion. ఇన్ఫాక్ట్ ఒక్కొక్క దాని గురించి చెప్పాలంటే చాలా టైం పడుతుంది. అబార్షన్ అవదు కానీ అయిందని క్లెయిమ్ చేసి డెలివరీ అయిందని నాకు అబార్షన్ అయిందని చెప్పి, లేకపోతే క్వికనింగ్ ఆఫ్ ది చైల్డ్. దిస్ ఫిమేల్ కెన్ క్లెయిమ్ దట్ షీ వాజ్ ప్రెగ్నెంట్ బై దిస్ పర్సన్ and I was aborted, like that. Infanticide, and a woman kill the child and claim the compensation, like that. Infanticide, concealment of birth, delivery in dachesi claim cheyochu. Ala field delivery avakunda delivery ayyani cheppi claim case file cheyochu, like that. Legitimacy, varasatvam. Then nullity of marriage. I told you in the beginning. Nullity of marriage, the end of the Hindu, according to Hindu Marriages Act 1955, the marriage can be end in 3 ways: null and void, voidable, and divorce. Those nullity of marriage means this marriage cannot exist in the law. That means మధ్యలోనే ఆగిపోతాయి, నిశ్చితార్థమై ఆగిపోయి లేకపోతే ప్రధానమై ఆగిపోయి, ఈ అన్ని nullity of marriages. So divorce, chastity, and blackmail. Chastity means, what is chastity? Some person, the husband or the fixed person may be claim that his wife is not pure. That means apavitrata. Pavitrata kaadu, pavitramainది kaadu. Before marriage she is having relations, like that he may shoot a case. Like that the question of delivery arises on these 9 instances. The science of recent delivery in the living, general science of recent delivery in the living, and science of recent delivery in the dead, and science of remote delivery in the living, and science of remote delivery in the dead. This question is important. We will ask you in your examinations. Science of recent delivery. General indisposition. That means for first 2 or 3 days, the delivered woman may looks like pale and weak, and breast changes. These breasts are full, enlarged, and tender, and colostrum will be secreted, and there will be a Montgomery's tubercles around the areola. Those changes are seen in the breasts in a delivered woman. The abdominal walls are pendulous and wrinkled, and there will be a linea albicans on the lateral aspects of the thighs and the abdomen, and linea nigra will be seen in the midline from the umbilicus to pubis. These are the abdominal changes. The perineum may be lacerated in delivered woman. In a normal delivery, there will be a scars of perineal tears, like that. The labia are swollen, tender, and the vagina are smooth walled and relaxed, and the capacitation of the vaginal wall is roomy in delivered woman. And the uterus, changes in uterus, these are all the changes, signs of recent delivery in the living. The uterus immediately after delivery, it contracted and it remains in the pelvic cavity, and it is reduced size by 1.5 centimeters per day, and it is diminished by 6th day. On 6th day, it is midway between the umbilicus and the pubis. After delivery, 6th day, it is the uterus is in between the pelvis and the umbilicus, and in the 12th day, 5 centimeters below the pelvic brim, and 9 weeks or 8 weeks, it will be in a normal size. So the size of the uterus is very, very important. The cervix is soft and dilated. The internal os is closed at 24 hours, and external os is closed in 2 weeks. The lochia is very, very important. The discharge from the uterus is known as lochia. This is disagreeable, or this is having disagreeable order, and during the first 4 to 5 days it is very clotted and bright red color. It is known as lochia rubra. 4 to 5 days, the lochia, the discharge from the uterus looks like bright red and the clots are seen. This is known as lochia rubra. It is very, very important short notes, lochia rubra. And after another 4 days, that means 5 plus 4 days, that means 9th days, the lochia is pallor and serous. It is known as lochia serosa. And after 9 days, it looks like turbid and yellowish gray. It is lochia alba. This is the short notes of lochia. This is discharge from the uterus. And intermittent uterine contractions 4 to 5 days, during the contraction stage of the uterus will be remain normal in 6 to 8 weeks. So recent signs of delivery in the dead, it is very, very important. Immediately after delivery, the uterine wall is 4 to 5 centimeters thick. The thickness and this size of the cavity of the uterus can be calculated in the dead. Because why? Because you should open the abdominal cavity and examine the uterus, its size and its length and width can be noted. Immediately after delivery, if the dead person is delivered recently, then the uterus size is the thickness is 4 to 5 centimeters and uterine cavity is almost obliterated, and the total length is 20 centimeters and the length of its cavity is 15 centimeters. In the first 2 to 3 days after delivery, the length is 17.5 centimeters and the breadth is 10 centimeters. You can read in the textbook, just note it down. Then at the end of 15 days, it is less than 12 centimeters and it returns to normal size in 6 weeks. Normal size is 7 to 8 centimeters size. So after delivery at term, the uterus weighs. The weight of the uterus is very, very important. At term, immediately after delivery, the weight of the uterus is 1000 grams, and first week 500 grams, and second week 350 grams. At the end of 6 weeks, it is 100 to 120 grams. This is the recent signs of delivery in the dead. And corpus luteum is usually found in one of the ovaries. Corpus luteum is present in either of the ovaries. It is also a sign of recent delivery of a female. And the signs of remote delivery. Remote delivery means the time between the examination and the delivery is a longer period. Remote delivery. Those are recent delivery. Those recent signs. These are remote signs. Remote signs are pregnancy usually leaves some important signs. That means abdominal scars, linea nigra. Those are very, very important. Linea albicans, and these are very, very important. And usual recent signs, some of the recent signs also left in the pregnant woman. Those are remote signs. That means those are abdomen. The abdominal walls are lax. Multiple white scars are seen on the abdomen, and breasts are lax and soft pendulous. These are all usual signs. Vulva. The vagina is partially open because the labia should not approximate each other, and the vaginal orifice will be seen open in multiparous women. Uterus size is reduced to normal size. Those signs of remote delivery in the dead. In the dead, the uterus is larger, thicker and heavier. Larger, thicker and heavier. The walls are concave from inside, and those rounded, the cavity is rounded. The walls of the uterus is concave inside, so the cavity is rounded. The body of the uterus is twice the length of the cervix. These are the signs of remote signs of delivery in the dead person. What are the differences in the uterus of parous and nulliparous women? Parous uterus and nulliparous uterus. There is a table in your textbook. You can read. కొంచెం స్పీడ్ అయిందా? ఏమైందా? చెప్పు సాయి కృష్ణ. సరే, డిఫరెన్సెస్ టేబుల్ ఉంది, చదవండి. parous uterus ఇంపార్టెంట్. డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ యూట్రస్ ఇన్ parous అండ్ nulliparous women. Parous size 9 centimeters long and 6.75 centimeters wide, larger, thicker. In nulliparous, it is 7 centimeters and 4.5 centimeters wide, smaller and thinner. Okay. Weight is 80 to 120 grams in parus uterus and 40 to 60 grams in nulliparous. Length, the body is twice the length of cervix. I told you, in parus uterus, the body of the uterus is twice the length of the cervix. The body and the cervix have the same length in nulliparous. Fundus is convex in parus, and the surface of the fundus is convex, and there is a same level as broad ligament in nulliparous woman. Cavity walls are concave. I told you, in parus woman and nulliparous, these are convex. Cervix irregular in parus uterus and nulliparous uterus. The cervix is regular, no scars. They just shows scars in parus uterus. So, అయిపోయింది. ఎగ్జాస్ట్ అయ్యారా? అర్థమైంది ఏమన్నా? ఏమర్థమైందా చెప్పు. గైనిక్ పోస్టింగ్ అయిందా? మాట్లాడండి, అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి. గైనిక్ పోస్టింగ్ అయిందా? అవలేదా? అన్మ్యూట్ చేయి సాయికృష్ణ. అవలేదు. అన్మ్యూట్ చేస్తే వినిపిస్తుంది. ఓకే, అయిన తర్వాత మీకు ఇంకా అర్థం అవుతుంది. ఓకేనా? సో బై. మేఘనా, అర్థమైందా? ఓకేనా? సరే, బై. రెడీ ఫర్ నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్.